From Indonesia to Ecuador to British Columbia, our next guest has traveled the world taking stunning pictures of our planet. Images that not only show us the beauty hidden in far-flung places, but also reminding us why we should take care of our home. Joining us this morning is the man behind the lens, conservation photojournalist Ever Osborne. Welcome and thank you.
Good morning, Ben.
All right, so we just saw some of your photographs. Why did you choose to go to the places you went?
I've been using my camera to try to start a conversation about conservation for some time now. So I travel the world hoping to bring back images that give us a chance to really appreciate the environment.
But so what happens? You sit around with a newspaper or with a team of people and you say, well, I heard about this place, or I've somebody came back from this place. I'm going to go check that out. Sometimes
an editor gives me a phone call. Sometimes it's the research that I'm doing with an environmental organization. Sometimes it's time sensitive. You know, it's just an important topic that I have a responsibility to go and talk and share and bring back images about that issue.
And from that issue, your first fine art exhibit here in Toronto called Home. Why is that name important?
It's a really difficult conversation sometimes when we're talking about the environment. So we wanted to recast, we wanted to reframe, we wanted to use a word that was universal, that connoted, that suggested a different feeling. So home gives people that impression. And it's just an interesting way to talk about the environment.
Now, you've also said that if one of your photos can make people think about that issue for just a fraction of a second, then it's doing its job. So what makes for an effective picture?
I took a photo some time ago now, and it ended up on a postcard in the back. It ended up on the back of a postcard in China. And that gave me an opportunity to really appreciate how images can go to work. And so that image really gave me this impression that I could do more with my photography.
Well, let's talk about one of those that is still working. Here's a picture that we want to show, and it's one of a sea turtle resting on a plastic bottle, if we can bring that up. And you've said, it was taken in Costa Rica, you said that you think of this as your first conservation photo.
Yeah, that's right. So when I took the photograph, I didn't actually see the plastic bottle right away. And so since digesting what this image is all about, I had an opportunity to say, hey, there's a story behind this image. Hey, we can be telling people about environmental issues using photography.
And then I want to talk about this one here, that we've got penguins on a beach. This is, what does this one mean to you?
So I'm trying to blend my documentary work with fine art now. Yeah. And so storytelling images give us a chance to talk about issues. Fine art images give us a chance to appreciate art and gives us a chance to appreciate what photography is all about.
Can you tell me what the distinction is for you? I mean, I'm looking at these pictures and I'm seeing beautiful photos, but as a photographer, someone who spends so much time looking at the image, you can tell you have a distinction in your mind between a documentary photo and a fine art photo.
Yeah, that's right. And so with Home, the fine art exhibit, we're trying to combine these two areas. We're trying to say, let's storytell with documentary work, and let's make this look really, really beautiful that a collector might want to put on their wall so that they can also be engaged in this conversation.
Is there one thing that you would want to tell our viewers about what they can do? Like, what would you want people to take away from this Home exhibit? What's the one thing that you think could make a difference?
Home is about appreciating that we're all connected to these wild places. And so if there's a way that an image can make that connection, then like I said, the image is doing its work. And so I'm hoping Home, the fine art exhibit, gives us a chance to appreciate the environment, appreciate these wild places, and then, again, reiterate that we're all connected to all of this.
What about for you as a photographer who seems to me to have a mission? You know, on this show, we talk about problems in the environment and issues that arise on a daily basis. And it would seem that if you are on this mission, it's a mission that will never truly fully be completed. So at what point do you say to yourself, I've done what I can do?
Sure, it gets me up every morning. It seems like an endless task, but Home is also about celebrating how much progress we've made. It's about celebrating the areas we have been protecting around the world.
So let's sidebar for a moment there.
Sure.
What are some of those things worth celebrating?
You know, on the west coast of British Columbia, we've got such special environment. We're protecting places like the Grizzly Bear Sanctuary. When we protect these places, we really truly see how beneficial they are to the animals, but also to us.
You know, I've got to say, it's not very often that we do talk about the sort of the silver lining or those good news environmental stories, and I think you're probably right. We probably should do that every now and then, because otherwise it could get a little depressing.
Yeah, there's a lot of doom and gloom, and so again, in Home, we're trying to recast, reframe that tone of the environmental discussion and say, there's lots of things to celebrate. There's lots of things to be optimistic about. Sure, there's some problems that we got to keep talking about as well, but let's celebrate what is also there, and also something that we can still appreciate.
Neil, thanks for coming in today. Thanks for offering us some insight into these beautiful pictures.
You bet, man. Thanks for having me.
And if you're in the Toronto area, you can catch Neil's exhibit at the Berenson Fine Art till June 10th.